Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's MDN and today we are going to be talking about how you can get 100 or more in Swimmy Barnaby. In case you missed it, Swimmy Barnaby is a new game that came out in both the lobby as well as a new machine type to celebrate Finn as being Toon of the Week. If you reach a score of over 100, you will get a skin, and this skin is, kind of being called like the new rare skin alongside the first wave of the Care Bear collection. But nonetheless, a lot of people are really eager to get their hands on this skin. So today we are going to be giving some tips and tricks. I've had a lot of you guys ask in my comment section. As somebody who has gotten almost 300, I'm still very angry about missing that 7. But as somebody who has gotten a good enough score, I'd say, I feel like I can maybe talk about this and share some tips and tricks that really helped me to hopefully help you get this skin and get a good score in Swimmy Barnaby. I do just want to give a quick disclaimer. This will be focused more so for PC players. Some of this can apply to mobile players and other kinds of players, but I will be making a mobile tutorial in the future because, as you guys know, your girl got her start on YouTube through mobile gaming. So this tutorial will be focused more so on PC, but you can apply most of this to other kinds of devices. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So tip number 1, this is going to sound a little bit silly, but I promise you, if you listen to this, this could help you. The very first tip is to cover up the numerical value, your score, on your monitor. The way I did this was using like a little sticky note and some tape, and I did do double sticky notes because it made it more opaque. That way, I couldn't see through the sticky note. And by covering this up, you're doing 2 things. Firstly, you're not going to be stressing so much about the score because you literally can't see it. And second of all, you're going to limit distractions because, as you guys know, when we're playing that kind of game, whether it be Swimmy Barnaby or Flappy Bird or Crossy Road, a lot of us tend to look at the numerical value and see kind of like how we're doing, but that can in turn distract us, causing us to die. So for that reason, I greatly encourage you guys to cover up your screen. I'm gonna put a picture of my monitor and what it kind of looks like. That way you guys can see it. And yeah, just get a sticky note, get some tape, cover up that number, and have a go at it. Tip number 2 is going to be to turn off the volume. So you're going to want to go into settings and turn off the entire, just like the game volume. You don't want to hear anything. Now, as you guys know, and this is really funny, this was released in the Blush Crunch YouTube, of course, but there's several different soundtracks for the Swimmy Barnaby game. They're all very nice. Don't get me wrong, I love them. However, when you're listening to something like this and you're constantly hearing the bing, 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 like all of these scores that you're getting, that is going to do one of 2 things. Number 1, it's going to distract you. Very similar to the visual numerical value, this will distract you and you're going to want to look at your score. Oh my god, did I get past 100 yet? Have I done it yet? And it's just ultimately, not a good move. The second thing is that it's subconsciously going to make you anxious, even if you're not naturally an anxious person, which by the way, I envy you. But even if you're not a naturally anxious or nervous kind of person, it can subconsciously cause you to kind of, remember what you're doing, get stressed out, get a little bit distracted, and ultimately will lead to you dying. So when you're going to play, you're going to want to turn off the volume of the in-game. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in settings. You're just going to go in and there's going to be like device volume and you're going to turn that off. Or of course, if you're wearing a headset, you can just set that off to the side. When I got to over 290, I did not have my headphones in. I had them just off to the side on the desk. This leads me into my third tip, which is the complete opposite, to listen to music.
But MDN, you just told us don't listen to anything, it's gonna distract us.
No, not exactly. What I need you to understand is that if you're listening to the actual in-game audio, including the music, as well as, each little bing that happens when you get past the seaweed, that can distract you. And that's not good for us. We don't want to be distracted. We want to be locked in. We want to be focused. However, if you're listening to a specific type of music, it can work in your favor. So my tip number 3 is to play music with a very specific beats per minute, that being 124 to 129 beats per minute. I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit why. I do have this written down, so I will be looking at my notes. Music in the 124 to 127 beats per minute range acts as a neurological stimulant. It increases heart rate, stimulates beta brainwave activity linked to alertness, and promotes a state of energetic flow, making it ideal for carrying out repetitive tasks, powering through cardio if you're working out, or boosting your subjective feeling of focus in general, which is exactly what we want. We specifically want to boost our subjective feeling of focus, our limiting our distractions, as well as something that will help us complete repetitive tasks. And that is perfectly suited with any type of music within that beats per minute range. On top of that, I have written that the 124 to 129 beats per minute range can affect your brain and productivity in a few specific ways, such as improving your concentration, improving your alert time, and your information processing time, which is all very valuable if you're playing a game such as Swimmy Barnaby. Everything moves very fast, it moves very quickly, and you don't get a retry button. You need to lock in and you need to get it all done in the very first go. So when I finally got to, it was 293, when I finally got to about 300, I was actually listening to a very specific song. I was listening to Ma Baker by Boney M. They're the same group who made Rasputin. They're a very old kind of band. And listen, before you guys judge me, Boney M is amazing. I love Boney M. I'm never gonna let anybody slander me for listening to my music. I think they're a great band. I love Ma Baker personally, and I'm just into that kind of music. In all honesty, music doesn't expire, guys. So that's a really good song to listen to. I really recommend Ma Baker by Boney M. There are also a ton of other songs. There are some popular artists like Olivia Rodrigo. There's some other artists like Taylor Swift that I know make music within that range. I'm gonna go ahead and put up on the screen a couple of songs that are popular or have gone viral that you may know that contain that beats per minute range. Hopefully you'll be able to look through and find a song that fits you. Once you're in that kind of state and that zen, you're in that locked in mode, there's literally nothing that's going to be holding you back. And also listening to music within that range can help you time a bit the jumps that you need to do. It's not so fast that you're going to be spam clicking the jump, but it's also not slow enough that you're just not going to do anything at all. I think it's in that perfect kind of middle ground where you're both locked in, concentrated, focused, but you're also able to actually carry out with the routine of the repetitive motions. Moving on from tip number 3, which I think is a very, very good one. Tip number 4 is your posture. Guys, listen. If you want to lock in, you have to make sure that your posture is actually comfortable and that it's actually going to work for what you need to do. Make sure you're not sitting there like a shrimp. Make sure, if you have your legs crossed, that you're not going to get uncomfortable after a couple minutes, causing you to uncross them, and then eventually you're going to move your arm and then you're going to fail. Make sure that you're in a very comfortable position from the start to reduce any motion that could cause you to die. Since this is a PC-focused tutorial, I also want to stress the importance of using your spacebar as opposed to your mouse. Make sure that your spacebar or your keyboard in general isn't all the way across from you on the desk or even in the middle. Try to bring it very kind of in front of your arm. I'm doing the motion as if you guys could see me, but try to bring it just in front of your arm. That way your wrist isn't cramped up. That way your fingers can press the spacebar repeatedly, comfortably. Some other things to keep in mind is making sure that your other arm is still. I am not ambidextrous, so I can't use both of my hands. If you can, good for you. I personally would just recommend that you keep your other arm still. I'd also recommend other things like your hair being out of your face. That way you're not scritching your face the whole time, and also that you're wearing comfortable clothes. You want to be comfy for this kind of thing, because if you do plan on getting far, it will take, a span of a few minutes, and you have to lock in for those few minutes. Final tip. This one is also very important. It's something that we downplay a lot. Make sure that your connection is as strong as possible. Once again, this is something that is very overlooked, but it can really make or break your chances of getting that fin skin. It can lead to two sorts of things. First of all, lag, which, nobody likes lag, and if you're lagging behind, you're eventually, you're gonna fall off because you're not in sync with the motions that's going on. And then second of all, it can cause you to disconnect, which is exactly what happened to me. No, bro, no! My freaking God, bro! I'm gonna crash out! Oh my God, I'm angry now. Something about the internet which is really cool is that everybody has their kind of like most connected window. For me, I found that that's in the morning, before 12 p.m. For some people, it may be later in the evening. For some people, it may be during the afternoon. Everybody has this range of hours within the day where their connection is the fastest. And therefore, playing at that hour will, be less of a chance for you to disconnect or lag. Final extra tip is to have fun. I know that, there are some people going crazy, getting thousands. And low-key, while it's really fun to see that kind of thing, please just remember to have fun with this. This is literally a game. Like, it's not life or death. Like, you will be fine. So just remember to, take it easy, have fun with it. Maybe you can have like a friendly competition with your friends, but don't burn yourself out over this and don't feel the need to have to woo everyone. Like I said, at the end of the day, it is just a game. It's something that's meant to be fun. So definitely take pride in that and just have fun. So those are my tips and tricks. I really hope that they can help you. I am planning to make a more mobile focused one in the future. However, a lot of this will apply to mobile gamers as well. Let me know your furthest score in Swimmy Barnaby and if this tutorial or these tips help you at all. I'm looking forward to seeing what some of you guys say about this. Let me know if you have any additional tips or tricks that I may have missed. As always, I wish you all an amazing day. Stay safe and remember that you are very, 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 very loved. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.